and rings competitions. Fascinating first day of apparatus finals at the 10th European Artistic Gymnastics Championships. And there's going to be real excitement for the host nation here with this rings competition, because they've got the world champion. Starting off the rings final, Nikita Simonov of Azerbaijan, 6th best in qualification, winner of 10 World Cup medals. Marco Lodadio of Italy, team gold medalist, World Championship silver medalist on the rings in 2021. He also won the European Games title in 2019. I can't list everything he's won, it'll take too long. Eleftherios Petrounias, the Lord of the Rings. Olympic champion in 2016, Olympic medalist in Tokyo. From Armenia, Artur Avetisyan, the 5th best in qualification, the reigning World Universities champion. His teammate, 9 years older at 34, Vahagn Davtyan, twice a silver medalist at the European Championships. The World Cup Series champion from last year. Sokratis Pilakouris of Cyprus, ring silver medalist at the Commonwealth Games last year in Birmingham. Here comes your world champion and the home hope, Adem Asil, all-around gold medalist. Just about the only person in recent memory to be both an all-arounder and ring specialist, and certainly the only one to win them both. Courtney Tulloch of Great Britain, team bronze medalist, Commonwealth Games champion and European Championship medalist on 7 occasions. And now your finalists in the uneven bars competition. Naomi Visser of the Netherlands, 2nd best in qualification, the reigning Dutch champion. Zoja Szekely from Hungary, European Championship silver medalist in Turkey in 2020. Zsofia Kovacs, also Hungarian, part of the team that did so well to come fourth, and she won the all-around silver medal yesterday. Giorgia Villa of Italy, team silver medalist and a Youth Olympic Games medalist on the uneven bars back in 2018. Team gold medalist Becky Downie of Great Britain, 3 times a champion of Europe, including twice on the uneven bars, and a silver medalist at the World Championships too. In a great mood, Lisa Vaelen of Belgium, having just won a medal on vault. Alice D'Amato of Italy, team silver medalist, all-around bronze medalist, and also a European Championship silver medalist on the uneven bars last year. And the last to go is the reigning champion of Europe, Elisabeth Seitz of Germany. Won the title in her home country in Munich last year. And she also has been a World Championship medalist. That was back in 2018. It's going to be a great final, isn't it, the women's uneven bars? Some heavy-duty performers in terms of their difficulty are here. There's some really big difficulty scores from qualification. And the most difficult routine of all, there's a surprise, came from Becky Downie. A gymnast who has spent her career pushing difficulty and proving her braveness. She's done that on and off the field of play. Great to have her back in a big, big final. The gentlemen going for rings glory. The finalists in the still rings competition at the European Championships. The top performer in qualification, Adem Asil of Turkey, the reigning world champion, going for home gold. having already won the all-around title. The second best, Vahagn Davtyan of Armenia, twice a silver medalist at the European Championships. The finalists in the uneven bars competition. The top performer in qualification, Alice D'Amato of Italy. She'll go second to last, ahead of the reigning European champion, who was the third best in qualifying. We'll start with the second best in qualifying, Naomi Visser. Well, there he is. He's back in a big final. He's had some injury issues of late. He, by his own admission, is not quite at the top of his game. Gymnast who has won the European Championship title on 6 occasions, including the last couple of them. What a fantastic competition Zsofia Kovacs had yesterday, coming second in the all-around and really going down to the last couple of tenths with Jessica Gadirova of Great Britain. Artur Avetisyan wearing the number 101, as he often does, by virtue of being from Armenia and having A's starting both of his names. And he's been a leading man in rings competition as well at World Cup events. He's won the World Universities title. From Azerbaijan, Nikita Simonov. The 6th best in qualification. He's won 2 World Cup medals this year, including a home gold in Baku. Won the bronze in Doha. He was 10th, however, in Cottbus, so he's had little inconsistency. And he made the final in Munich. He was 6th there, and that's the qualification position he's come in with. Into the Maltese. Making sure to take his time and to hold these skills. Difficult handstand with the arms extended. Yamawaki to Jonasson, to Maltese once more. Small adjustments here and there. Good shoulder presentation in the iron cross with palms open. Just a little pike perhaps in the midsection in the planche. Nikita Simonov of Azerbaijan. It looked a reasonably stable landing, difficult to see from that particular angle. The judges certainly got their crystal clear view of it all, though. And it's always close. Rings finals. Tends to come down to the most marginal of things, like that landing adjustment. Sixth time at the European Championships for the 26-year-old, based at the very big Ochak Sports Club in Baku, which has so many gymnasts in so many disciplines, and they regularly train at the National Gymnastics Arena, which is a quite splendid space. Naomi Visser of the Netherlands, second best in qualification, the reigning Dutch champion on the uneven bars. That's the Stolda Kachev into the mixed grip, into the Ezhova. Ooh, problems coming out of the Stolda full. Uses the Stolda Shaposhnikova into the Pak Salto. So she's back. Not quite fully to handstand there. Again, some problems, and that regrettably has caused Naomi Visser to totally lose her swing. She stayed on, but massive cost to her score, and eventually she has to come off. Well, the problem started earlier, really, when she was in between that Stolda full into the chow, or the Stolda Shaposhnikova skill. Credit to her, because she did everything that she could have done to try to hold on. Does dismount very well, as she tends to do. And that's a difficult start for the second best in qualification. She still takes the time, though, as the sports person with dignity that she always is, to wish Zoja Szekely the best and give her some encouragement. It's one of the nicest features of this sport. We're going to see this happen a few times today. The Stolda Kachev into the mixed grip, going straight into the Ezhova. Few gymnasts have that particular combination. .566 for Nikita Simonov. He's down by a 10th from qualification, and he's not best pleased. Marco Lodadio from Italy. 31 from Frascati in the centre of Italy, a town of about 20,000 people. Lovely part of the continent. He is a graduate of accounting, and he most definitely has the numbers to contend if he can improve his execution. The difficulty was 6.3 in qualification. Up he goes into a stable looking planche. Likewise for the Maltese. Good toe point. Quite an elegant looking Jonasson. He just flickers a little going into the Maltese. Got to be sure to hold his positions for long enough. It's a tidy handstand, though. And that was a good dismount as well from Marco Lodadio of Italy. Now, will he improve upon the 8.333 for execution he scored in qualification? If he does so, then he could be a contender. He won the European Games title in Minsk in 2019. Very sadly, there is no gymnastics at the next European Games, taking place in just a couple of months' time. It's a little piked as he lands, but he's happy with good cause. 11.8 for Naomi Visser. She's well down, as you'd expect from qualification, unfortunately. Zoja Szekely of Hungary. 8th best in qualification, 14.066. 2 times a European Championship medalist, including on the uneven bars in 2020. Chow, and then goes back into a Pak Salto to go back down to low. Maloney. And then into the Ginga somersault. Sets up for a Jaeger. performing this well. And she's landed well too. Zoja Szekely of Hungary. Yes, very good display from the 19-year-old from Budapest. A gymnast with a quiet determination to get better and better. When she was coming up through the junior ranks, she was spoken of so highly for her desire to push herself and her willingness to self-evaluate her gymnastics. Well, that's interesting. 14.666. He's gone into the lead, Marco Lodadio, the man from Frascati. The name comes from the local tradition of collecting firewood, frasche, dating back to the 9th century, and he has lit up the competition and turned the heat up on this gentleman. Eleftherios Petrounias of Greece, the reigning European champion. He's been 6 times a champion of Europe. In qualification, 14.733, the 4th best. That's interesting, isn't it? Moving from a low position up into Maltese. Very unusual to see. Just maybe slightly off level in the handstand, hard to be sure. Sometimes the angle can be deceptive. Flickers slightly in his handstand, but this is interesting work. Oh, does move up nicely into the planche. That's such a level shoulder line. Another really clean looking iron cross. You can always count upon this man to turn up for a final. He had a big adjustment on landing, but the bulk of the routine was extremely well performed. He's 32, the Lord of the Rings. So many major titles, including 6 of them at continental level. 3 times he's been the champion of the world too. He still has one of the crispest looking shoulder presentations in the sport. Look at that. Zoja Szekely goes into the gold medal position with 13.833. Down by less than 2/10 from qualification. It's a good display. There's some more difficult work to come. Her difficulty 5.9. Hers is higher. Zsofia Kovacs of Hungary. European champion in 2020 when Szekely won the silver medal. Now that's the Stolda Shaposhnikova with the half turn to add some difficulty. Well executed Jaeger, just building the swing back up. Downie straight into the Pax Salto. And then another transition with a half turn, just struggling to get the handstand positions perhaps fully established. How's the dismount? Similar to qualification. That full in just a little overcooked, but it's a complex routine from Zsofia Kovacs. The gymnast who was second in the all-around competition. Sometimes it looked as though she was maybe not quite secure in the handstand position, but we'll come back to that. He is in the lead. 14.733. Eleftherios Petrounias, exactly the same score as qualification. Artur Avetisyan of Armenia. Fifth best in qualification, 14.666. Armenia hugely excited about hosting the 2024 European Championships. The ancient city of Yerevan, their capital, will be the destination. Up he goes into the planche. To a Maltese that's nice and level looking. Jonasson into the Maltese, perhaps not quite as acute a pike position in his Jonasson as he sometimes does. That's on the whole well performed by Artur Avetisyan of Armenia. He won his first World Cup medal last year, a silver in Doha. And then earlier this year, in February, he took bronze in Cottbus at the World Cup that always starts the season off. Still quite a young man, he's only 25. We often talk a lot, for obvious reasons, about Vahagn Davtyan without maybe mentioning Artur Avetisyan enough. Into the lead goes Zsofia Kovacs, 13.933. Execution a little lower than qualification, same difficulty score. Giorgia Villa of Italy. 14.166 for her. The Kachev and a pack salto and straight back up to the high bar, and the first time we've seen a bardouage in this final. He always uses the full extent of the apparatus. And that's a nice routine from Giorgia Villa of Italy, silver medalist with the team. After winning the gold medal in Munich. And she is the reigning Mediterranean Games champion on the uneven bars. 14.433. Artur Avetisyan into fourth position. So still it is Eleftherios Petrounias who is in the lead. And that takes us to the halfway mark. Just got one score to come in. Becky Downie will get things underway. And interestingly, she's had her eponymous skill already performed by the leading gymnast, Zsofia Kovacs. Not the leading gymnast anymore, 14.066. Giorgia Villa with high execution, very high execution, goes into the lead. That's the only 8+ execution score we've had in the first half of the final, and it's very much beyond 8. 8.266. So the second lowest difficulty, but Giorgia Villa leads. Zsofia Kovacs in second place, her teammate Zoja Szekely in third position. We have still to come the first, third and fourth strongest performers in qualification. In the rings final, it's the reigning European champion who leads, going for 3 in a row. But we have got the second best to come right after the break, and then the top performer, the reigning world champion, followed by the third best performer. So both these still rings and uneven bars finals are going to keep us guessing until the end, because the random draw has thrown a lot of the top performers right near the end of the order. The warm-ups are concluded. And we begin the last pocket of action on this first day of competition in apparatus finals at the European Championships. Vahagn Davtyan of Armenia. He is from Yerevan, the city that will host the European Championships as they move onwards into a big, big year. A year dominated by not 2 rings, but 5. He dominated the World Cup circuit last season. Won the overall title, great consistency. He hasn't been on the podium yet this season in World Cups. But just think about how much it means to this elder statesman of the sport in Armenia, knowing that his home city is going to be hosting the European Championships. He'd love to go there as a European Championship medalist. He actually works as the head of sport and youth affairs department for Yerevan municipality. He's determined to improve sporting conditions there for children. He has a nice sense of control on this apparatus. That's a lovely handstand position. Jonathan into Maltese. Really strong, opening up the palms of the hands, maintaining nice toe point as well. Very straight-legged at all times. His planche is good looking. There was a flicker. Some tenths will go for that. Oh, he just had a tiny adjustment as he landed. It was very good nonetheless from Vahagn Davtyan, the silver medalist in 2016 and 2019. Brother Artur watching on. Becky Downie of Great Britain, team gold medalist, twice a European champion on the uneven bars, 2014 and 2016. Welcome back. How great it is to see her here in this final. How happy she has made so many fans of this sport. This is a difficult routine. Kachev to mixed grip, to Ejeva. Maloney. Into a Hindorf. And a back salto. Just about held that. Well done. Becky Downie of Great Britain with a super dismount. She has returned. She has been missed. And it is so wonderful to see her back. such a difficult skill to go from that Maloney into a Hindorf, the hip circle Kachev. And a very stable dismount too. That Hindorf, named after Sylvia Hindorf, they say it was the first Kachev ever done in women's artistic gymnastics. We have a new leader, 14.733, Vahagn Davtyan. Same score as Eleftherios Petrounias, but 3/10 higher on execution, 3/10 lower on difficulty, so he wins the tiebreak. To Sokratis Pilakouris of Cyprus. The silver medalist at the Commonwealth Games in Birmingham, where the Cypriot men also won a team bronze. It was a brilliant performance from them. Nice move from Maltese up into planche. Incredible strength that takes. He's got such a nice sense of control. Oh, lovely move up into handstand. That was like pressing pause and going into freeze frame mode. Less so that time, a little bend in the midsection, but he stabilizes it. He's a very good young gymnast, Sokratis Pilakouris, only 23. From the beautiful hillsides of the Troodos Mountains in Pelendri, near Limassol in the center of the country. First time he's made a European Championship final. We wait for the score for Great Britain's Becky Downie. Giorgia Villa leads on 14.066. "31-year-old from Nottingham, back at the European Championships for the first time since 2017. Villa, then Kovacs, then Szekely. Not any longer, 14.233. Becky Downie of Great Britain goes into the gold medal position. Lisa Vaelen from Belgium. The 9th best in qualification. A score of 14.0. Another of the gymnasts who we'll see using that Stolder Kachev to mix grip to Ejeva. First of all, the Jaeger. And there it is. And there it was. Maloney with plenty of swingfulness. Back salto. Van Leuven, the Maloney with a half turn. She's having a very good day, and she's had a pretty good dismount too. Lisa Vaelen of Belgium on the podium in the vault competition. Her difficulty not as high as some of the gymnasts to come and that have been, but it's a very secure display. And again, we're dealing here with an 18-year-old athlete who's still in the very early stages of what will likely be a really long and successful senior career. 14.233 for Sokratis Pilakouris. Now, as things currently stand in the rings final, it is Vahagn Davtyan, then Eleftherios Petrounias, then Marco Lodadio. The only problem for them is that the world champion's here, and he's in his backyard, and he's already won the all-around title. It's a simple truth in gymnastics that you cannot be a still rings master and an all-around master at the, oh wait, hang on, yes you can, because he's done it. He's done that which people do not do. This is so difficult. Beautiful Jonassen, beautiful Yamawaki, beautiful Maltese. That is elegant. And he goes so quickly up into the planche position. Symmetry. It's a joy to watch. That is wonderful. He roars, they roar, it'll be a big score. Born in Egypt, bred as a gymnast in Turkey, and outstanding, one of the finest in the world. He really has such a nice shape to his Jonassen. The Yamawaki, with the knees in the tuck position, is so symmetrical. He gets them right up in towards his chest. They say the devil's in the detail, and this is a young man who is so detailed in his approach to gymnastics. And he's getting the reward for it. 13.733 is the score for Lisa Vaelen. Alice D'Amato, the penultimate gymnast to go, top performer in qualification. At the moment, it's Downie, Villa, Kovacs. Downie is assured of a medal. Catcher from Alice D'Amato, the 20-year-old, to get some busy work underway. Lovely big bardouage. This had a 14.5 score in qualification. Her execution is so good. And then into a tight double front to dismount. Alice D'Amato of Italy with her contribution to this uneven bars final. She is a gymnast whose crispness on this apparatus is a joy to watch. Adem Asil, already an all-around champion. He's surely going to go into the lead. 14.933. A gentle smile from Vahagn Davtyan as Asil beats his chest and beats the rest. There's one to go. Nice moment of respect between them. One to go. Courtney Tulloch of Great Britain, what a one to go as well. The two-time Commonwealth Games rings champion. The 27-year-old. And he won a bronze medal at the World Championships in Liverpool, the first British man to do it. Up he goes into a nice-looking planche. He has such strength. He has such control. And he always has a chance. That is the only one of those we've seen in this final. The cross in the manner position. Oh, brilliant strength. Can he hold a hugely important dismount? Courtney Tulloch of Great Britain. He's looked really good, and he has dismounted well too. A little backwards diagonal step from Courtney Tulloch. It's going to be quite tight, this. The two-time Commonwealth Games champion with another really assured display. He's been so good for so long at the top level of this sport. Alice D'Amato of Italy looking to get beyond the 14.233 of Becky Downie. She's into the gold medal position, 14.466 with 1 to go. Downie will have at least a bronze medal. D'Amato will have at least a silver, but hang on a second. Here is the reigning champion of Europe. For how long will the reign go on? Elisabeth Seitz of Germany. The 29-year-old from Heidelberg. Big Kachev work. And a Jaeger as well that had some amplitude. And then she goes from Kachev into the Pack Salto. Oh, very good. Great conclusion to this final. Elisabeth Seitz of Germany. She scored 14.4 in qualification. 14.066, currently holds bronze. Then 14.233, then 14.466. Powerful straddle position, Kachev. And it's just that little hop at the end that gives pause for thought. But it's a fine display from one of the top gymnasts on the apparatus. Courtney Tulloch scores at 14.466. And as a result, for the second time at these championships in Turkey, it is Adem Asil who wins the gold medal. He does it with a score of 14.933, the reigning champion of the world. And he's also the European champion for the second time in his home country. And hugely well done to the gentleman who has come second, Vahagn Davtyan, the 34-year-old getting his third silver medal. But there is your champion. And the Olympic champion from Rio, Eleftherios Petrounias, has come third, and that's a really good result considering the physical difficulties he's had lately. Now, what about Elisabeth Seitz? Elisabeth Seitz has taken the bronze medal with a score of 14.2 right at the end of this final. The champion of Europe is the silver medalist from last year, Alice D'Amato of Italy. Straight over to celebrate. The D'Amato sisters are having a splendid, splendid time in the world of European gymnastics. But we've got to talk about somebody. We've talked a lot about him. And we've talked a lot about the D'Amatos. Becky Downie has just won a silver medal, having not appeared at the European Championships since 2017. He knows what it's like to have people not believe you can do something. He knows that all too well, Adem Asil, because they laughed at him in his home country when he said he wanted to be a world champion. And people have doubted Becky Downie too. You don't ever doubt Becky Downie. You never doubt Becky Downie. Her career is proof of that. If she sets her mind to it, it'll happen. Bronze to Eleftherios Petrounias of Greece in the rings final. Silver to Vahagn Davtyan of Armenia. The title won by Adem Asil of Turkey, his second gold medal.